What is Facade going for? He's on the other side of the ring. What are you trying to do here, Facade?
Pillman is prone, and Facade is looking to take a big-time chance.
That's 18 feet away!
Making his way to the ring from Cincinnati, Ohio, weighing in at 223 pounds, the Promised Prince, Brian Pillman Jr.
Well, you want to talk about tournaments? How about the father of Mr. Pillman Jr. competing in the WCW Light Heavyweight Tournament in 1991? Brian Pillman Sr. defeated Ricky Morton in the finals of that tournament to become the first ever WCW Light Heavyweight Champion, the spiritual precursor to their Cruiserweight title. And Brian Sr.'s second reign, he beat no less than Jushin Thunder Liger. Fast forward nearly 30 years, Brian Jr. is in Super Indy, a tournament where so many men have been influenced by the Pillmans, the Ligers, the Brad Armstrongs, the Cruiserweights and Junior Heavyweights of that day, and now Pillman could usher in that family name to a new era, much as his father had done with the WCW Light Heavyweights. But to do it, Pillman will have to face the most experienced Super Indy competitor in the field.
And his opponent from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, weighing in at 195 pounds, the Neon Ninja, Facade!
Facade is the winner of Super Indy 12, where he bested Gory and Anthony Nese in the finals. He was a finalist in Super Indy 11 with Sami Callihan. He was a finalist in Super Indy 13 with RJ City and Sammy Guevara. Facade has been in, I think, 4 or 5 Super Indy tournaments at this point in his career. He knows what to expect better than anybody in the pack tonight.
Very successful in Super Indy competition. It has been a while since he has won the tournament, but he has tons of experience.
Yep. Another man who could two-peat here tonight. It has been 7 years. But in that 7-year span, you talk about Europe and Japan and Thailand and
India.
Russia and India for a 6-month stay. All over North America, Facade has become one of the most well-traveled athletes in the world.
And Facade has also adapted his style. Facade has also adapted his style as his career has gone on. One of the big criticisms of Facade early in his career was that he employed that high-risk offense, but occasionally was prone to crash and burn. Facade has managed to eliminate a lot of the mistakes in his game, has managed to eliminate a lot of the errors, and has made himself a far more dangerous and far more, I would say, methodical and measured competitor. Yeah. 10 plus years now into his career. Might get a handshake here.
Pillman didn't seem particularly impressed by Facade. I think the Promised Prince has a bit of a chip on his shoulder, and maybe with that family name and that bloodline, maybe you can kind of understand that. Maybe hanging around guys like Teddy Hart, you understand that. Maybe his success in AEW.
With Teddy Hart, you want to follow that up much more?
Not really. I'd like to move on, but I mean, he's in AEW now. Is Brian Pillman? He's not Kip Sabian's best man, but he might be the best man in this tournament here tonight.
I was really excited to see Puff.
Puff's great, but that's another story for another time.
All right.
Facade is also a 3-time former Super Indy champion. He's beaten the likes of Sami Callihan and Elias for that honor. And we talk about the fact Facade, by himself, just at Super Indy, his 6th tournament this year, not even factoring in the J-Lits and IWA East Coast and all the other tours and travelings Facade's done.
Absolutely.
I don't know that Pillman's been in a major independent tournament yet.
Not yet. Nice takedown by Pillman, though. This may be Pillman's first real taste of tournament action. Yeah. I do know that there have been some small regional tournaments that he has participated in, but nothing on this caliber and nothing with this caliber of competition. Look at that. Very nice. Escaping the head scissors, kind of into a modified guard here.
Pillman is keeping just out of reach of Facade. Facade traps the arm, rolls him through, tries a cradle here, tries to get the
He's got a cradle.
I noticed Facade that neck strength, bridging his own body up to keep his own shoulders off the canvas, and a standoff center ring.
Can I say that I'm actually very surprised that that Pillman has decided to take his tactic. Now, Brian Pillman is a Muay Thai trainee.
Chris, they were both judging each other's hair. Could you imagine?
Absolutely. Those locks versus that mullet.
Takedown by Pillman Jr.
But I was actually very surprised that Pillman decided to go strike for strike with Facade. Facade, one of the most adept strikers in IWC history. Excellent, nice cartwheel there.
I agree with that 100%, Chris. As Facade going spring
right to the head scissors.
Head scissors nicely done. One thing that's not talked about a lot in Pillman's career, but he, much like Jack Pollock and R.C. Dupree and others, is a student of Lance Storm, trained at the Storm Wrestling Academy in Calgary. And certainly Brian has had so many mentors through the years, whether it's Les Thatcher, Chris Jericho, so many mentors and veterans he could talk to, Steve Austin, that knew his father, and he could pick the best of every mind he encounters.
Nice shotgun-style drop kick, using the ropes for a little bit of extra leverage.
Do you think Facade has a chip on his shoulder? Because let's face it, Chris, he's not been a regular part of IWC in recent years. His schedule precludes that. But back home, I think Facade maybe feels like with the Johnny Patches and the Atticuses, the Lees, some of the talent coming up in Pittsburgh, maybe he has to reassert that dominance.
Maybe he does. I mean, he certainly has the skill and the ability to do it. Oh, nice pump knee. I think that Facade is one of those individuals who, Guerrero style, getting into the ring.
Talk about those influences.
I think Facade is one of those athletes, one of those performers who really, really, really need to challenge him. Like, he is at his best when the pressure is on. He is at his best when he is against world-class talent. And I think that IWC is starting to bring that back and is starting to draw. Oh, nice neck breaker. And I think that's starting to draw Facade's attention a little bit more.
Well, I think, they don't get more highly touted than Brian Pillman Jr. And we know that Pillman has a hunger to make IWC one of his homes. Keep in mind, earlier this year, Pillman a heartbeat away from almost becoming the IWC champion.
Absolutely. And Pillman also, you mentioned earlier the AEW, Warrior Wrestling in Chicago.
Yeah.
He's
MLW?
MLW, absolutely. The New Heart Foundation. Yeah, he is really...
Oh, he's got his nipple.
I was waiting for you to make that call because I was not going to justify that with a response.
Hey, we haven't seen
he's biting him.
We haven't seen a nurple like that in IWC since Trevor Lowe back in the day.
Who?
Facade fighting out of the grasp of Pillman Jr. in a number of ways. And that's the way, though, Pillman likes to play mind games. I mean, I don't know if dear old dad ever grabbed a nipple in a match, but certainly he knew a way to get you off your game plan.
I have a line that will get us thrown off of pay-per-view, so I'm not going to say it. We'll just move right along.
We'll save that for the after party, maybe the after party, but there's a near-fall situation. And what do you think it's going to mean to Facade, though, if he's out in the first round? That's a realistic possibility here, and we've never seen that.
Well, I mean, I think that he has to really understand. He's in there against a rising star in this business, and really somebody not only with the pedigree, but with the work ethic and with the intensity. Nice knife-edge chop. One thing I've noticed about Pillman is that I think that a lot of wrestlers expect him to be a little bit of a clone of his dad. I think they expect that same style of attack, and you're not always going to get it. Pillman is his own man and has really developed his own style, very different than his father's. And that style, I think some people aren't expecting the striking.
Nicely done.
Good example right there.
Yeah.
They aren't expecting the striking, and I don't think they're expecting the strength that you get from Brian Pillman Jr.
Pillman was a guest on the Mark Madden show, 105.9 The X, yesterday afternoon, and I think Mark Madden is pretty confident that Brian Pillman Jr.'s his pick to win this thing.
High angle suplex.
And that's certainly easier said than done, but Facade got spiked in the back of his head here. High pinfall attempt by Pillman, but only a near fall.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of people are looking at Brian to continue his father's legacy. But having talked to Brian in the past, I think he wants to carve his own legacy. I think he wants to be his own man in professional wrestling. And of course, kind of an axe kick there. Of course, pay homage to his father and to his legacy. Another nice round kick, but Facade seems to be shrugging it off.
Facade is cycling himself up. He's daring Pillman to hit him as hard as he can. And I think Brian Pillman's thrown off here at the intensity of Facade, the fact he's kicked it into high gear.
As good of a striker as Pillman is, I don't think he was expecting, he may not understand what he's going up against with Facade here.
Well, Facade, he's a walking anomaly, an enigma. How do you explain or describe Facade, let alone fight against him?
Stall suplex, floats over, good balance by Facade. Great striking so far in this contest. Oh, nice round kick to the chest.
Facade's been making headlines as well in
Matrix
GCW matches.
style.
Nicely done there. Always catching you on the rebound. Able to nip up. Incredibly fluid motion by the Neon Ninja, the Aerosol Assassin, the Aerial Arsonist, Facade.
Pillman takes him to the apron. And I don't think Pillman realizes that Facade was on the apron.
Pillman can't underestimate
Rope
that agility as Facade walks the title.
Beautifully done!
The side kick connects right to the side of the jaw, but the momentum took Pillman to the floor.
Or Pillman decided to powder, and that might have been the smartest thing he's done all contest. That one got him flush on the jaw. Pillman is probably on Dream Street.
Yeah, Pillman's trying to create some distance between he and Facade. Is it enough distance, though? You never know if it is. Double spring, Facade on the floor! Like riding a bike, you never, ever forget how to do it. Facade that double spring, whether it's in a packed arena or Washington Wild Things Park, Facade comes up big when he needs to.
Unbelievable athleticism there by Facade. Really, really fantastic. He's got Pillman on the ropes. This is
If Facade, he may go one more springboard
Hyper Crush.
kick.
Hyper Crush.
Could be Hyper Crush as well.
He got it!
Got him!
This has got to be it.
Facade's a shoe-in for the second round. He's on his way. Paul Pillman kicked out.
I am very impressed by that. Showing great toughness, great intensity.
Chris, you've been in the ring with Facade before. What the heck do you do when Facade just turns the notch up this high?
You start to cheat. That's the best thing that you need to do is that when Facade gets on a roll like this, and I'm not saying that as a joke, you really need to do everything you possibly can. What does he got to look for there?
Facade is trying to elevate Pillman to turn him into that Arashikage driver, but Pillman is countering the elbows to the back of the head.
In a straight-up fight, very few people can beat Facade. Look at that, Stalls. Oh, nice knee counter.
He may have hit Pillman right in the eye with that knee. Did Facade, if that swells up, that could certainly damage Pillman in this matchup, let alone if he makes it to future rounds.
Pillman is rocked.
Yeah. Pillman may not know where he is right now.
What is Facade going for? He's on the other side of the ring. What are you trying to do here, Facade?
Pillman is prone, and Facade is looking to take a big-time chance.
That's 18 feet away!
Facade went drop kick coast to coast, but Pillman slides out of the way.
Went for everything and got nothing. I think he calls that the Neon Terminator.
Well, he may have terminated his opportunity. Air Pillman, did he get enough of it? A stutter step by Junior, but he adjusts. And the pump, was that a kick or a knee? Either
that was
way.
A knee strike.
Yeah, he caught him right in the face.
Almost into a jackhammer.
Yeah, the jackhammer, the hook of the leg.
He got him!
Brian Pillman Jr. has beaten Facade.
Here is your winner, advancing to the semifinals, the Promised Prince, Brian Pillman Jr.
I mean, on paper, it's tough to argue Facade being an odds-on favorite based on his history, third most tournament appearances than anybody else. But Brian Pillman Jr., in maybe his first major tournament in his career, pulls off a win over a seasoned 14-year IWC veteran.
The